The trouble is that Meghan quietly is one of the most sought after charismatic women in the world. That a photograph of Meghan is I put it to you, is worth far more than a photograph of Kate. And Harry has charisma, the royal family needs him. If he chooses to come back, I think that would be fantastic. I have no time for William. I find him petulant and entitled.
Hold up. Did that just happen? Did we just hear what I think we heard on British daytime television? Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, subscribe right now because you just witnessed something historic. A British journalist just went on live TV and spoke the truth that the palace and the tabloids have been desperately trying to suppress for years. Nina Myskow, British media personality, just said on UK television that Meghan is one of the most charismatic women in the world, that a photo of Meghan is worth more than a photo of Kate, that Harry has charisma, that the royal family needs him, and then she said she has no time for William because she finds him petulant and entitled. I need you to understand, this is not normal for British media. This is a seismic shift. This is the establishment's carefully constructed narrative cracking wide open on live TV. Okay, now that we've all processed that bomb that just got dropped, let's break down exactly why this matters, why the palace is probably in crisis mode right now, and why this is just the beginning of the truth finally coming out. Let me read you the transcript one more time, because every single word Nina Myskow said is loaded with truth. The trouble is that Meghan quietly is one of the most charismatic women in the world. A photograph of Meghan is worth far more than a photograph of Kate, and Harry has charisma. The royal family needs him if he chooses to come back. I think that would be fantastic. I have no time for William. I find him petulant and entitled. Okay, let's dissect this because this is masterclass level truth-telling. First, the trouble is. See, she starts with the trouble is. She's acknowledging right out the gate that what she's about to say is the problem the establishment has been dealing with. The trouble isn't that Meghan is difficult or demanding or any of the nonsense the tabloids have been pushing. The trouble is that Meghan has something the monarchy can't manufacture and can't control. Meghan quietly is one of the most charismatic women in the world. Quietly. This word is everything, because Meghan isn't out here desperately seeking attention. She's not calling paparazzi on herself, despite what certain tabloids want you to believe. She's not staging photo ops every other day. She's literally just living her life, being her authentic self, and the entire world is captivated. That's real charisma, people. That's the kind of magnetic presence you can't fake, you can't buy, and you definitely can't destroy with years of coordinated media attacks. And here's what twists the knife for the establishment. Meghan had this magnetic quality before she married into the royal family, and she still has it after walking away from the institution. The monarchy didn't give it to her, which means they couldn't control it, and they definitely can't take it away. That's what terrifies them to their core. The royal family has spent literal centuries building this mystique, this idea that they are inherently special, that the institution itself makes people important. But then Meghan walked through those palace doors with her own light, her own purpose, her own global following, and suddenly they realized she didn't need them nearly as much as they needed her. Plot twist of the century, she married into royalty, but baby, she was already royalty in her own right. The Duchess of Sussex was out here doing humanitarian work, speaking at the United Nations, advocating for gender equality on global platforms, and changing lives long before she ever set foot in Kensington Palace. Now let's talk about what Nina said about Harry. Harry has charisma. The royal family needs him. If he chooses to come back, I think that would be fantastic. A British journalist admitting on British television that the royal family needs Harry. Let that sink in. This is something we've been saying for years, but it hits completely different when someone from within the UK media establishment actually says it out loud on daytime TV. Harry wasn't just popular, he was the most popular royal for years. Not William, not Kate, not Charles, Harry. And why? Because Harry was real, he was relatable, he was genuine. This man served his country with actual distinction. 2 tours in Afghanistan, actually saw combat, actually put his life on the line. Compare that to certain other royals who got ceremonial military positions and carefully staged photo ops while never seeing a day of real danger. Harry created the Invictus Games, which has literally transformed the lives of thousands of wounded veterans worldwide. He spoke openly and vulnerably about mental health at a time when the rest of his family was still stuck in that toxic keep calm and carry on nonsense that's done generational damage. Harry brought genuine warmth, authenticity, and modern relevance to an institution that was rapidly becoming a relic, out of touch with reality in younger generations. He was the bridge between the dusty, archaic monarchy and the real world. He made the royal family accessible. He made them human. And what did they do in return? They drove him out. They stood silently while the media destroyed his wife with racist, misogynistic attacks. They offered no protection, no support, no basic human decency. They weaponized the press against his own family. And now, look at them, struggling with public approval, dealing with scandal after scandal, hemorrhaging support, especially among young people who see right through the charade. Nina said if Harry chooses to come back, it would be fantastic. And you know what? She's absolutely right that the royal family needs him desperately. But here's my question, and I want you to drop your answer in the comments. Why on earth would Harry go back? Back to an institution that allowed his wife to be psychologically tortured? Back to a family that allegedly leaked stories about his children to the press? Back to a media environment that blamed him for having the audacity to protect his family from abuse? Nah, hard pass. Harry and Meghan are thriving in California. They're building their own media empire. They're doing meaningful work through Archewell. They're raising Archie and Lilibet in an environment filled with love, away from that toxic cesspool of jealousy and dysfunction. They don't need the royal family's approval or validation anymore. But the royal family? Oh, they're realizing far too late that they needed the Sussexes infinitely more than the Sussexes ever needed them. That's what happens when you choose outdated traditions and tabloid relationships over your own family members. And now, let's talk about the statement that probably caused multiple palace aides to choke on their morning tea. I have no time for William. I find him petulant and entitled. Petulant and entitled. Those are not words you hear on British television about the heir to the throne. Like, ever. The media has spent literal years, decades really, carefully constructing this image of William as the responsible one, the future king, the stable heir. They've created this entire narrative positioning him as everything Harry supposedly isn't. The perfect prince, the family man, the dutiful son. But Nina Myskow just ripped that carefully crafted mask right off on live television and said what millions of people have been observing but have been too afraid to voice. William acts petulant and entitled. And honestly, the evidence is everywhere if you're willing to look. Let's examine the facts, shall we? Work ethic. William has been repeatedly called out by various British publications for his lack of work. He's earned nicknames like Work-shy Willie from some corners of the UK press. While Harry was literally dodging bullets on the front lines in Afghanistan, William was getting cushy helicopter assignments and carefully staged photo opportunities. Modernization resistance. When Harry and Meghan wanted to bring the monarchy into the 21st century to address legitimate concerns about institutional racism and the need for mental health support, William reportedly couldn't handle it. Multiple sources suggest he threw fits behind closed doors. Communication breakdown. When Harry tried to have honest conversations about the problems within the family, William allegedly responded with anger and avoidance rather than brotherly concern. The briefing wars? Multiple credible reports have suggested that William and his team have been behind negative briefings and leaked stories about Harry and Meghan. Think about that. Allegedly using the press to attack your own brother and sister-in-law? That's not the behavior of a confident future king. That's the behavior of someone deeply insecure and threatened. Petulant? Throwing tantrums when things don't go his way, when his brother dares to have a different path? Check. Entitled? Literally never having to work for anything in his entire life, expecting respect simply because of his birth order, rather than earning it through actions. Check and check. Now, compare that energy to Harry, who has actively earned respect through real military service with actual combat experience, creating the Invictus Games from the ground up, genuine advocacy for mental health and veterans, the courage to break generational cycles of trauma, and standing up for his wife and children against systemic abuse. The contrast is stark. Nina Myskow sees it. We see it. The only people who don't see it are those who are willfully, deliberately blind to the truth. So let's talk about why this matters. Why am I making an entire video about one journalist's comments on a daytime TV show? Because this represents a fundamental shift in the narrative. For years, and I mean years, the British media has operated as essentially an unofficial PR department for Buckingham Palace and Kensington Palace. They've protected the institution at all costs, swept scandals under the rug, participated in coordinated character assassinations, and launched vicious attacks against anyone who dared threaten the status quo. And the biggest threat to their status quo? Meghan and Harry, a biracial American actress who refused to shrink herself to fit into their outdated mold, a prince who chose love, mental health, and his family's well-being over ancient protocol and institutional dysfunction. The establishment couldn't control them, so they tried to destroy them. But here's the thing about truth. It's like a beach ball you're trying to hold underwater. You can push it down for a while, but eventually it will resurface with force. And we're watching that happen in real time. Nina Myskow speaking this truth on daytime TV is significant because it signals that even within the British media establishment, people are getting tired. Tired of the lies, tired of protecting people who don't deserve protection, tired of tearing down good people who've done nothing wrong except refuse to be abused in silence. This is a crack in the dam, and once that dam starts cracking, the whole thing comes down. We're seeing more journalists willing to speak up, more commentators questioning the official narrative, more people connecting the dots between the treatment of Meghan and the UK's ongoing struggles with racism and misogyny. The carefully constructed story is falling apart, thread by thread. And this is what we've been saying all along. The truth always comes out. Always. It might take time, it might be frustrating to watch the lies circulate while you know the truth, but eventually, inevitably, reality asserts itself. The palace can brief against the Sussexes every single day. The tabloids can run hit pieces, the trolls can flood social media with their tired, recycled talking points. But the truth is emerging, undeniable and clear. Meghan is charismatic, talented, intelligent, and genuine. Harry is brave, compassionate, and was absolutely vital to the monarchy's relevance. The institution that drove them out is now struggling without them. And William is being seen for who he actually is, not the sanitized PR version they've been selling. The emperor has no clothes, and people are finally willing to say it out loud. The tide is turning, folks, and it's about damn time. Look, I know this video is going to bring out the trolls in full force, but here's the thing they can't argue with. These aren't my words. These are Nina Myskow's words, said on British television by a British journalist, breaking ranks with the establishment narrative. They can come for me all they want, but they can't change what she said. It's on video. It's documented. It's out there. And you know what that means? The dam is breaking. More truth is coming, the lies are crumbling, and those of us who have supported Meghan and Harry from the beginning, who saw through the racist dog whistles and the manufactured outrage, who recognized the institutional gaslighting for what it was, who stood firm while the trolls attacked, we're about to be vindicated in ways we never even imagined. So, to everyone watching who's been on this journey with us, keep going. Keep speaking truth. Keep supporting the Sussexes. Keep calling out the hypocrisy, the double standards, and the cruelty. We're on the right side of history, and history is starting to acknowledge it. Before you go, smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Drop a comment with your reaction to Nina's statement. I want to hear all your thoughts. Give this video a thumbs up to fight the algorithm and get this truth to more people. Share this with everyone who needs to see it. The trolls will try to bury it, but we're going to make sure the truth spreads. Until next time, keep shining your light, keep speaking your truth, and remember this. They tried to bury Meghan and Harry, but they forgot they were seeds, and seeds don't stay buried. They grow. Peace out, and I'll see you in the next one.